What's going on, everybody? It's your boy J Main back checking in with the people, and here, emerging from my dungeon after 34 hours with 100% completion, the platinum, and now my review for Marvel Spider-Man 2. Did that rhyme? Do I have bars? I need to get back in the studio. Anyway, listen, if you take anything from this review, I just wanted to be known that Insomniac Games has crafted one of my favorite video game superhero stories of all time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, to answer those burning questions, they have cooked. Now, for the most part, overall, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is better than its previous entries with the 2018 game and Miles Morales. But how much better and what areas it comes up short in is what I wanted to talk about mostly here in my review. Now, you can't be assured this will be spoiler free. As I came into this game, I wanted to be as fresh for you as it was for me, and for you to just experience everything on your own in terms of the big reveals, the big gameplay moments, and stuff like that. Be careful out there. I even saw the new launch trailer that they put out. If you haven't watched that yet, I advise you not to watch it. I just think that there's certain things in there that they probably could have kept out. That would have been nice surprises for the people. So beware. Without further ado, I want to jump right into my thoughts and feelings about this story. And no, I wasn't engaging in hyperbole when I said this truly is one of my favorite video game superhero stories of all time. You get the sense that Insomniac Games wanted to challenge not only the Spider-Man, Peter and Miles in conflicts and situations throughout their daily lives, but also the player. When I have to take the time and maybe even pause the screen and think to myself, what would I do in this situation if I was in their shoes? How will this impact my day-to-day? How would this impact my psyche? That right there is something that I can put a stamp on. In addition to this being the darkest story Insomniac has told throughout the Spider-Man games, that just adds tenfold to everything I said before about what the Spider-Men have to go through, as well as other characters. Now, the story isn't all doom and gloom as I may be making it sound. There are a lot of moments and story missions where you get to see the Spider-Man, Miles, and Peter really doing the things that they like to do, hanging out with the people that they love. The constant battle and balance of these things is an ability and a superpower in itself. I mentioned other characters and different types of missions in this game, and in addition to some returning characters, there are a bunch of new characters that we are introduced to in the Marvel Spider-Man 2. Some of these characters are fleshed out in the side missions that Insomniac has created for this game. Activities also return, and the cool thing about a lot of these side missions and activities is that they're tailored for either Miles, they're tailored for either Peter, or they have ones that can be played by either character. Now, one thing that confused me about the side missions in this game is Insomniac talked a big game about how the side missions they created here were some of the best that they ever have, and they don't want the player to skip out on them. Now, while I can agree, leading up to them, during them, it was really good stuff. But by the time you get to the end of it, you kind of left like, where's the rest of it? Is that it? It's almost as if they're setting it up for a future DLC or expansion. And I thought, like, for some of those big ones, they really could have concluded it here because it fit with the main theme of the game. It fit within the lines of what was happening within the main story. And those are the side missions that I like. And I feel like they just dropped the ball with concluding some of these. I can't talk about activities and missions without, of course, mentioning the core gameplay of Marvel Spider-Man 2, and that's the combat and the traversal. Now, we all know many people have lost hours, including myself, with just swinging around the city, getting to explore and experience the feel of a Spider-Man. But in this game, we have 2 extra boroughs to explore, the whole East River to go across, and you have the addition of the web wings to make something like that 10 times better. If I had to put a percentage on how much I use the web wings versus the web swinging, I would say it's about 70-30 in favor of the web wings. They have these vents set up throughout the city as well as wind tunnels to help elevate the experience of the web wings, and just flying across the cities and gliding across the city is amazing. Shout out to the DualSense controller, adding the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers and the vibration. Everything about the DualSense controller was used in this game, And I feel like it's one of the best implementations of the DualSense controller that I've seen since Astrobot. Combat in this game, of course, feels amazing. Of course, you have the 2 separate Spider-Man that you can choose from, and shout out to the SSD because picking between the 2 without having to worry about load screens or utilizing the fast travel system, and it is so seamless, it's great. Even though I didn't really use the fast travel system like that because I just loved traveling around the city with the web wings or just swinging, I like to get the feel of it. I like to really feel like I'm Spider-Man. Combat in the Spider-Man games has always been great to me, and they just took what was there and improved on it. Adding new moves and abilities, and these type of things really shine in a game like this where you are going back and forth between the 2 characters. You get the style of Miles and then you get the style of Peter, and you see how different they are and how unique they are to the point where you're even deciding which character you're going to use for certain missions. With the ability to approach these missions, whether you go guns blazing or from the shadows, stealth should have received as much of an improvement as the combat did as you progress through the game. Now, they do introduce some new things with the stealth mechanics, but I feel like it was like one and done. I feel like they stopped there and that was it. Even the gadgets left me wanting more in this game, as the ones that they present you are shared between the 2 Spider-Man, and I feel like there could have been more. I feel like each Spider-Man could have had ones that were shared and ones that were unique to the character and complemented their playstyle. Enemies and boss fights. Now, enemies do feel reminiscent to the previous Spider-Man games. You kind of get the gist that once you figured them out at the beginning, you kind of got them down towards the end. But what they do introduce is a nice new parry system that you can utilize with the regular foot soldiers or even in the boss fights, which boss fights, let me tell you something. they there. they there. That's all I'm gonna say about the boss fights. With this game, I had the option of playing at 2 different modes on my display, which was fidelity and performance. With the fidelity mode, you do play at 30 FPS, but you get the high resolution, you get all the ray tracing, all the bells and whistles. The game looks amazing, but I refuse to play at 30 FPS, okay? I chose the performance mode, which was 60 FPS, and for the most part, it ran great. Now, the visuals of the performance mode took me back a little bit. Of course, they had to make some sacrifices to get the game running at a solid 60, but this is a PS5 only game. With the ray tracing going on, there were some like hair details that were scaled back. I don't know what upscaling techniques they're using, but I saw like some visual flickering going on, and I was a little bit surprised. Just PS5 Pro me so that I can have more details in my performance modes. I'll take that as well. With that being said, amazing game overall. I can't wait to see what's next in the future games. DLC expansions, hopefully that stuff is around the corner. Make sure y'all stick around for the end credit scenes. You know it's Marvel. You know it's going to be there. And I appreciate you for tuning in to my review of Marvel Spider-Man 2. Rate the video, of course, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also, leave down in the comment section how excited you are to get your hands on the game, and I'll catch y'all in my next video. Peace.